Jai Shriman Narayan. Jai Shriman Narayan. I want to pay my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagat Guru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I want to pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Shriman Narayan. I want to welcome all of you to the Sunday Satsang at the Sri Sudarshan Goshala, South Africa. And I want to welcome all of you that's watching this discourse on live feed, especially my devotees, locally, nationally and internationally, and for those of you that's going to be watching this on the various groups when it is posted therein. Firstly, I would like to thank our devotees in Newcastle. This was an omission on Tuesday, as I had a very serious topic and I didn't want to mix the two. So, our grateful thanks to the Sat Chit Ananda Temple Society of Newcastle for giving us a 7-star hospitality last weekend. And not only that, miraculously, I think this is unprecedented anywhere, after the discourse on the significance of a guru, 26 people, including the executive from this temple, took initiation into the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. In my quest to make devotees around the world for Lord Narayan, if I make one devotee, then I have achieved my mission. But here in Newcastle, 26 disciples ranging from 1.5 years to I think 70 years and plus took initiation. This gives us more energy. It tells us that there is a thirst for Vishishadvaita. It tells us that there is a thirst for Vishishtadvaita, and coincidentally, Avikar Bhai, who is the chairman of that institution, posed a question on our WhatsApp ASRF Newcastle group, asking what is the difference between Advaita, Vishishadvaita and Dvaita. This is a very important question, and I'm going to explain to the best of my ability within the time that I have been allotted for discourse in this satsang. We will start off Advaita. What is Advaita? Advaita is monism. What do we mean by monism? Mono means one. Monism will be the philosophy relating to one. So according to Advaita, the propounder of this theory, 800 AD was Lord Sri Shankar Acharya. He was a manifestation of Lord Shiva. And he brought in this theory that the world is an illusion. The world is an illusion. It is like a mirage or a rope mistaken for a snake in the twilight. Okay. So ultimately he states that God is formless. God has no form. He has taken form through this illusory world, and there are no such thing as individual souls. It is God manifested as many, or a reflection of God, reflected as many on this mirror of a world which is an illusion. So ultimately he is saying that every living entity is God. If you're a snake, you are God. If you're a shark, you are God. If you're an elephant, you are God. If you're a human, you are God. This philosophy was used to kick out Buddhism in India. And the reason Buddhism flourished because Lord Narayan took the form as Buddha many years ago, I think 3,000 years ago, because there was confusion and darkness prevailing in India in regard to Sanathan Dharma and the regulative principles therein. As soon as Lord Sri Krishna left 5,000 years ago, Kali entered the material universe, and slowly man lost his divinity. And there came a time where man began sacrificing willy-nilly. What does willy-nilly mean? For every single material attainment, man would sacrifice an animal. They misinterpreted the sacrificial injunction of how and why an animal is put into fire. And for the preserving of the senseless killing of animal, Lord Narayan took his birth as Lord Buddha. And at that point in time, it was easy in his incarnation as Lord, it was easier in his incarnation as Lord Buddha to decry the entire Vedas, which means to reject the Vedas and give an alternate philosophy. The aim of Lord Narayan was to stop the senseless killing of innocent animals. And in order to achieve that aim, the same Lord Narayan, who is the propounder, expounder of the Vedas himself, rejected that to suit the mindsets of humans in that time period. All of you understand? So he, as Lord Buddha, he explained that reject the Vedic teachings, they are false, and follow what I am teaching you. And in lieu of that, the Buddhist philosophy prevailed throughout India. However, as it was a false philosophy, Lord Shiva was instructed to take his birth and bring a philosophy which is closer to God realization than absolute atheism. And it was for this reason that Lord Shiva, as Lord Shankar Acharya, expounded the Advaita philosophy. So imagine if somebody tells you you're an atheist and somebody tells you you are God. And there is a philosophy that tells you that you are God. Won't it attract you from absolute void to a philosophy that now comes in and tells you that you are God? Right? So, this philosophy was taken by the Brahmins only, the Brahmin caste. It is too abstract for the general masses to understand God as formless. There can be no relationship. Imagine, Niven, if Radharani was formless. What type of relationship would you be able to initiate with her?
Peaceful one.
He is now wishing she becomes formless. Alright? So, you cannot have a relationship with an abstract. Okay? Lord Sri Ramanuj refutes this philosophy with logic. Okay? So if this world is an illusion, then all the ingredients in this world will be an illusion. Alright? So in this philosophy it is stated that through knowledge, ignorance will be removed and one will become merged into the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So let's use Lord Sri Ramanuj's logic and understand this aspect. So if this world is an illusion, then everything contained in this world will be an illusion. And all knowledge contained within this world will be an illusion. And all the Vedas will be an illusion. And all the gurus will be an illusion. And all the disciples will be an illusion. So where is the God realization? You understand? So you're stuck in an illusion. You cannot come out of the illusion because the illusion deludes you. Okay? So it has no logical basis. Alright? No logical basis. Okay? And that is why it is refuted in its entirety by Lord Sri Ramanuj. However, Lord Sri Ramanuj synthesizes the impersonal aspects of God and the personal aspect of God, and he marries it successfully so that this knowledge can be accepted not only by Brahmin, which Lord Sri Ramanuj is totally against, but by everyone. according to Lord Sri Ramanuj, everyone is qualified to attain and have a devotional, loving relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, disregarding your caste, your creed, and any position in society. Now, don't you think a loving God and Sri Ramanuj's understanding of a loving God is the same? You think God should differentiate between different devotees in different castes and different creeds? If you love Him, He should reciprocate that love. And this is the philosophy that Lord Sri Ramanuj expounded 1000 years ago. About 200 years after Lord Sri Ramanuj, Madhva Acharya took his birth and he formulated the Dvaita philosophy. And according to Madhva Acharya, Lord Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, according to Madhva Acharya, Lord Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Madhva Acharya is a component of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, okay, which ISKCON used for some of it, and linkage, not lineage, linkage. Alright? There's a difference between lineage and linkage. Alright? So, ISKCON based its linkage on the Gaudiya Sampradaya. However, Madhva Acharya, in his commentary of the Vedanta Sutta, he states that Lord Narayan is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mother Lakshmi is his consort, and Mother Lakshmi transforms herself into a spiritual potency, and this spiritual potency transforms itself into the world. And then you get a distinct duality. Dvaita means duality. Vishishtadvaita means one complex whole. And Advaita means one. So in Advaita there is only God. In Vishishtadvaita there is God, there is nature, and there is independent souls. Eternally, all the time. Okay? And in Dvaita, Madhva Acharya states that there is a distinct difference between God and the world. So I hope you here and Avikar there, I'm happy that these newer devotees are more spiritually intelligent than my older devotees. I can see crestfallen faces, right? Because they're not asking the questions. And you can see on that group that Avikar Bhai is moving, okay, that he has an interest in this satsang. The satsang is not only when we meet on Tuesday and Sunday. The satsang is supposed to be for initiated disciples, ongoing all the time, and material things supposed to be by the way. Satsang supposed to be, and everything related to spirituality supposed to be mainstream, and everything else in life supposed to be by the way. But I see from my Durban devotees, material life is mainstream, Sundays and Tuesdays, and whenever we can, satsang is a part of life. Alright? So I warned that this would happen a long time ago. If you are sitting back and relaxing, one day the institution will be gone so far away you will find you're not even on that ASRF plane. We have our own spiritual plane. Alright? So this should be a wake up. This should be a wake up because this is a spiritual institution and you should be spiritually inquisitive. You should be spiritually inquisitive. Okay? So let us examine all what I have stated. I have stated that Sri Ramanuj rejected monism, he rejected dualism. Alright? So how did he reject these concepts and how did he bring Vishishadvaita into existence? What did he use? What was his criteria? Okay. So the Vedas are made up of 4 segments. Each Vedas have 4 segments. What are the 4 segments? The Samhitas, the Brahmanas, the Aryan-Yakas and the Upanishads. Remember this, because now there's people that are superseding your intelligence, because I've stated this many times. I've stated that the Vedas have 4 segments: the Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aryan, Yakas and Upanishads. So the Samhitas and the Brahmanas draw you in. From total ignorance, the Samhitas and the Brahmanas draw you in for ritualistic performance of worship to the various cosmic administrators that's given you air, sunlight, water. Then the Aryan Yakas starts questioning because you become fed up of eating, sleeping, living, working. Then the mind wants to understand something deeper. Is this existence just for eating, sleeping, defending, procreating, or is there something more to life? And then Aryan Yakas point you to the Upanishads. And the Upanishads take you into an understanding of a supreme being above all the beings, who is called Brahmin. And the Upanishads teach you who Brahmin is. So the Upanishads tells you in each of these 4 Vedas, the last portion of each of these 4 Vedas, you'll find the Upanishads. So Lord Sri Ramanuj took all of these Upanishads and he took what seemed to be conflicting. After the completion, subsequent to the completion of the Upanishads, Veda Vyas was instructed by his guru to write the Vedanta Sutras. Okay, so the Vedanta Sutras are thumb notes. Colonel, you remember thumb notes when you was giving speech in school? You stand there. I don't know if Benny was in the same class. He was feeling shy. Oh, too front. Okay. So when you stand in the front and give your speech, and every paragraph you got a thumb note. You read your thumb note and go back into the next paragraph. So the Vedanta Sutra are thumb notes on the various seeming contradictions in the Upanishads. 544 thumb notes of the various seemingly contradictions in the Upanishads. Okay? And the various people, saints and sages, Shankar Acharya did his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, and he took that parts of the Upanishads that suited his ideology. So in the Upanishads where it stated God is formless, he only took those parts that stated that God is formless. Okay? So Sri Ramanuj took the parts in the Vedanta Sutra which stated God is formless, and he took the parts which stated that God has form. And he showed them that why it was stated at that point that God was formless and when God has form. All of you understand. The Vedas are the most beautiful, is the most beautiful and exquisite knowledge in this universe. There is nothing but the Vedas in this universe. And this is a higher, when we were in school we had 2 grades, standard grade and higher grade. And Avikar has asked a higher grade question. I can see most of my devotees might not understand this, but this discourse is not for our local devotees only, it's for everyone. Okay? This is higher grade, as he Krishna Ramanuj Das. In meditation. Alright? So let us come back, because we need to understand this aspect. We belong to the Sri Sampradaya. We need to know what our philosophy is. When you move with your dot and you tell people, I belong to the Acharya Sham Ramanuj Foundation, the first thing a Hindu should ask you is, what is your philosophy? And if you do not know your philosophy, it is an embarrassment, not to yourself but to your Guru. Alright? So this philosophy has to be understood. So Sri Ramanuj took the seemingly contradictory verses of the Brahma Sutra and he wrote the Sri Bhashya. Alright? So that's his commentary, but it has been agreed subsequently, even those that do not embrace his work, that his work was ingenious and impeccable. He took 60 years. Anna, your entire miserable lifetime, 60 years. To write this commentary. He is the only saint that took such a long time to write such a great commentary. Why do you think he took that amount of time? Colonel? So that Acharyaji 1000 years later don't spend 60 years of his lifetime trying to find out what Vishishtadvaita is. You understand? He's already done everything and handed it for the disciples and subsequent gurus to explain this philosophy as I am explaining it to you now. Please take that smoke out. Outside. Okay? Logic is a very important thing in life. Logic and intellect. Heat and smoke don't go together. Alright? And I'm going to show you, but before I show you, Lord Sri Ramanuj his commentary is in reality not a commentary as you would define the word commentary in a normal sense of definition of the word commentary. He presented Vedanta as it is. He presented the Vedas as it is. Okay? And I'm going to show you. So when he refuted both dualism and monism with qualified or Vishishadvaita, it was never his opinion. He brought in Vedic injunctions. And he brought in Vedic injunctions from the Upanishads only, because the Vedanta Sutra is written from the Upanishads. So he did not look for any supplementary or auxiliary decided cases. He used the Upanishads itself to define and give us a logical breakdown of Vedanta Sutra as it is. So I'm going to sum up this very, very quickly. Alright? Vishishtadvaita means that God is different from material nature and He is different from individual souls. But both individual souls and material nature cannot exist without God. So material nature, individual soul, is eternally connected to God. Can you understand, Vivasni? What I just said, last sentence. Well, she's still thinking. Which means at no point in time is the individual soul not connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No point in time. And at no point in time is material nature not connected to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but material nature, through a combination of the individual soul, give life to this world. The body is material nature, your soul is individual soul. All the elements of your body is found in the universe, and a combination of these two gives life to this material universe. So Lord Sri Ramanuj rejects illusion. Lord Sri Ramanuj rejects illusion. He states that this world is real. Dana, give yourself a smack and see if you feel any pain. Are you in an illusion, or did you feel a smack? You want the Guru to smack you, or your own smack is good enough? Okay, alright. So if you felt pain, then this world cannot be an illusion. This world is real. Okay? Sri Ramanuj totally 100% rejects the philosophy of illusion. And Maya as an illusionary effect. Okay? He says Maya is the three gunas, Satagun, Rajagun and Tamogun. Alright? When they are mixed, then this material universe is formed. The only ignorance you have is through an accumulation of karma from previous lifetimes. And the amount of karmas is proportionate to your ignorance. Does it make sense? There is no illusion, there is ignorance. That ignorance, which is a sum total of your karmas, impelled by the three gunas, deludes you into believing you are this body. The moment you understand that you are not this body, you are the soul, what happens to ignorance? Ignorance dissipates. And that is the only ignorance that is found in the material universe. The ignorance is that a fish thinks it's a fish, a snake thinks it's a snake, a human thinks it's a human. And once that ignorance is removed, what happens? How do you remove that ignorance? How do you remove that ignorance? Through a process set by the Lord himself, Lord Sri Krishna.
Self-realization.
He came down 5,000 years ago and he spoke the Bhagavad Gita. And unfortunately, many people have interpreted the Bhagavad Gita as per their own ideologies. Alright? Sri Ramanuj once again interpreted the Bhagavad Gita, and I like to put the word really in front of as it is. I want to put the word really in front of as it is, because there's somebody that also interpreted the Bhagavad Gita and wrote there as it is. But when you bring evidence, as it was not so. Scriptural evidence, alright? So, the Bhagavad Gita interpreted as it is will state that for a human to remove his ignorance, his or her ignorance, that human must undergo a process called karma yoga. What is karma yoga? Performing all your actions as a gratitude to God and not claiming the results or not awaiting the fruits of your results. I'm using the word all. So when you get up in the morning, you get up for God. When you go to work, Colonel, you work for God. When you come back home, you come back home for God. Everything that you do for God, what will happen to your mind? those millions of negative karma that embedded in everyone's mind, what happens to those karmas when you start working for God? It automatically starts dissipating, coming out, and you start getting spiritualized. So when you go to work for God and your boss is a bad man, who you must see in that man?
God.
When you see God in that man, what happens to you? You become godly. You don't need to worry about him. Who becomes godly? You. Because who you working for ultimately? God. And if the fruits of all your actions you leave at the feet of God, are you accruing any action? Because all actions are performed for who? For God. What happens to that mind? What happens to the mud on the surface of the mind? It starts clearing. It clears itself for what? Mind is used for thinking and feeling and willing. The mind is used for thinking, feeling and willing. So if the mind is cleared after you offer all your actions to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then you can use your mind for thinking. What would that thinking be? Dana? Knowledge. So when you pour knowledge in a pure mind, what will the result be? Meditation and remembrance. Thinking, feeling and willing. Meditation and remembrance. And when you meditate and remember the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what develops in your heart? Devotion. Devotion. Look at the practicality of Lord Sri Ramanuj's understanding and explanation of this concept of karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyan yoga and bhakti yoga. Can you see how we weaved a logical thread through these yoga systems? So these other philosophers, they rejected other yogas to suit their philosophy on what they were propounding. You understand? So a meditator will say Dhyan yoga is the best. A karmi yogi will say karma yoga is the best. And a bhakti yogi will say bhakti yoga is the best. Alright? We are saying all the yogas are important in spiritualizing you. The start of spiritualization starts at karma yoga and ends in bhakti yoga. Alright? Then after bhakti yoga, there's a phase called prapati, which is not in the Bhagavad Gita. Alright? Prapati, these various yoga systems can be described like a monkey, a baby monkey on a mother monkey. A baby monkey on a mother monkey. Alright? Natasha, can you imagine? Do you have any monkeys running amok in Sherwood? Plenty. Okay, you saw the babies, how they grab onto the mothers? So these four yoga systems, right up to Bhakti Yoga, you can envision the mother is God and the disciple is the baby monkey, and God jumps with the monkey, with the baby from concept to concept. You understand? From Karma Yoga to Jnana Yoga to Dhyan Yoga to Bhakti Yoga. Prapati is like a kitten taken in the mouth of the cat. Alright? The baby monkey is dependent on the mother, it's holding on to the mother. The kitten does not care about anything. All it knows is its mother will take him from point A in the mouth to point B. Alright? So Prapati is total surrender to God without coming through the Vedas. Total surrender to God without coming through the Vedas. So if you just surrender, and I am an exponent of Prabhupada. I met my Guru. The day I met him, in that millisecond, I surrendered to him fully. I'm not sitting as a Guru today through Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. That is why the demonic forces that are against me, they are shocked how I'm sitting on this chair. All of a sudden, I came to total surrender, Prapati. Immediately I saw my Guru, I surrendered 100%. And everything that I did and I do up to now is only for my Guru. Is only for my Guru. That is called Prapati. You understand? But as soon as you are self-realized, Vedic knowledge is automatically revealed, because Vedic knowledge cannot be researched, and it is revealed at the point of self-realization. Those of you that's going to come through Karma Yoga, Vedic knowledge is being released and revealed proportionately up until you reach self-realization. Acharyaji just landed in self-realization through total dedication. Understood? And it is a Vedic injunction. It is a Vedic injunction, and whatever is a Vedic injunction is the absolute truth. Okay? So, for purposes of material creation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Narayan, incarnates. I want you to visualize this. Incarnates as the material universe. Incarnates as the material universe. So if God is the incarnation of this material universe, then where are we situated in? In God. Understand? If God is the incarnation, that means the form of God is this material universe, then where are we individual souls situated in? In God. So both times we are situated in God. When there is no material creation, we are situated in the body of Lord Narayan. And when there is material creation, Lord Narayan incarnates as the universe, and we are still situated within his body. So we, the individual souls and material nature, forms the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is never a time that we are not with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Alright? There is never a time we are not with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I think we've reached, I think my time has expired. I had some verification from the scriptures. Alright? But to conclude, Arjuna asked Lord Sri Krishna to show him his cosmic form. Cosmic form would be his form in this cosmos. Alright? And I'm going to conclude by just reading a few verses. Hold this mic. Okay, it's chapter 11, verse 9. Having spoken, O King, Sri Krishna, the great Lord of Yoga, then revealed to the supreme lordly form. Okay? His own, which is the ground of the entire universe, which is manifold and wonderful, and which rules over everything. And that form was like this. Verse 10, with innumerable mouths and eyes, many marvelous aspects, many divine ornaments, and many divine weapons, wearing celestial garlands and raiments, anointed with divine perfumes, full of wonders, resplendent, boundless, and facing all directions. Verse 12, if 1,000 suns were to rise at once in the sky, the resulting splendor may be like the splendor of that mighty one. Verse 13, there in that form Arjuna beheld the whole universe, with its manifold divisions gathered together in one single spot within the body of the gods of gods. Okay, I don't want to continue. I think this is verification enough. Okay, so there is no reason for anyone to be confused when I say Vishishadvaita is the Vedas itself. Okay, I can't see how somebody can explain away this point where Arjuna saw this universe as a spot in the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay? All of you understand? So either the Bhagavad Gita is wrong, as it is, alright? All of you understand it. And this is the beauty of satsang, where you learn about your own culture, your own religion, and your own spirituality through an authority. And the authority is the guru, and the guru must come from a institution. Okay? And we hail from the Sri Sampradaya. So I hope, Avikar Bhai, if you have been listening, or when you listen to the discourse, your confusion and doubts would be cleared. And I hope for all of those who's going to be watching, whenever and wherever, part 2 will be on Tuesday. And I will continue maybe with part 3, part 4, because this is a very intense and a very comprehensive discourse. Alright? We're not debating, we're presenting. We're not debating, we're presenting the truth as it is from the Vedas. Are there any questions in this satsang? I know it's a crazy feeling living inside God's body. Alright? But when you understand that truth, it's the most divine feeling. Okay? Whether you're in the material universe or in the spiritual universe, it doesn't matter. If you're in God's body, what great problems can ever happen to you if you have already recognized this truth? The problem with people and the suffering is when they have not recognized this truth. If you have recognized that you're living in the great body of God, Shalen, I see you trying to imitate God in His sleep on the causal ocean. You try to sleep as well here, alright? But notwithstanding that, if you are in the body of God, Natasha, there should be no worry. Alright? And lastly, Sri Ramanuj states that people come to satsang for 3 reasons. Okay? And they are legitimate, bona fide reasons to connect to God. One is if you are in a financial or health distress, psychological, financial health, you come to God. If you are inquisitive, you come to God. And if you want to be in knowledge, you come to God. So just like karma yoga, from karma yoga you need Gyan yoga, then you can get Dhyan, and then you can get Bhakti. Similarly, for whatever reason you come to satsang, you have to change your mindset. This is why we have so many people coming into satsang and leaving satsang. Alright? So say you want a car. Anna? If you want a car, then the guru becomes a car dealer. So when you came to satsang, you sat for your 5 months and you bought your car. Now you already got your car. Once you buy your car, is there any association with the car dealer and the buyer? No. But whilst you was applying for the loan, you're looking for a car, you phone in the car dealer all the time. Once you get the car, what happens? The association stops. Alright? And this is very dangerous. And that is why I am saying that people get confused why so many people come to satsang and after a while they leave. So if the guru was a car dealer and he gave you the car, you leave. If the guru was a boat dealer, after you got your boat, you leave. Alright? If the guru was a marriage counselor, after you got connected, you leave. Because if your aim to come to this satsang is, I hope my husband and I can patch our difference and live a normal life. So once you come to satsang, after 5 or 6 months, when you and your husband are lovey-dovey again, what happens to your aim in the satsang? It's accomplished. It's what is the need to come to satsang anymore after your aim has been accomplished. This is a question, it's a real question, because people come to satsang and they leave and it looks as if the guru is not fulfilling. So if you came with cancer and your cancer is gone, there was a lady that came with cancer, the cancer was gone, she's no more in satsang. You understand? So if you come for a particular material improvement in your life, and if that is your focus in satsang, I'm advising you to shift it. It brought you here, fair enough. Even I landed in satsang because I needed something. But when I came to satsang and I learned that this satsang is giving transcendental discourse and it's teaching me things that cannot be taught anywhere, I must now change my focus. And I must say, God, I now know you exist through the various discourses I heard from Acharyaji. I leave my problems at your feet. My aim is no more my problems. My aim is to develop a loving relationship with you. Then you will be successful in this satsang. Understanding? Yes. Only problems will bring you to satsang. So you come in with your problem. Once you have learnt that there is a real tangible God in this satsang that have solved many, many problems, then what you do? You change your aim and you start loving God and let God take care of whatever problems you came. If this universe is one spot on the body of God, how big spot do you think you are? How big your problem is? You think that huge God can't fix that small spot if the entire universe is a spot on his body. You understand? Everyone. So, come to satsang, change your aim. Initial aim, I'm in a problem, I'm in satsang. Now that you're in satsang, devote your heart to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And start asking me. I haven't, from the day I started satsang, nobody asked me, Acharyaji, how can I connect to God? Nobody has asked me. Nobody asked me any question on God. I gave counseling to people, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours in Westville. Nobody spoke about God. And the reason, the aim for me opening this satsang is to teach you who God is. All of you understand? So this misdirected stay in satsang is the reason why people fail. I gave everyone, whoever wanted whatever they wanted, they all got it. Alright? And those that's new will still get it. And then you'll see they are gone. Because they only came to get what they wanted. No, that's the truth. After that, the guru becomes very common, Kano. The guru is only the best guru as long as you haven't got it. He's the greatest guru. They'll go on Facebook, WhatsApp, YouTube, you name it. They'll go around the world. Acharya Sham Ramanuji is the greatest until they haven't got it. The minute they get it, Acharya Sham Ramanuji is an ordinary human being. You understand? But if you change your focus and you say, I want God, God and Guru is intrinsically linked, you'll never get fed up of your Guru. Your Guru will be fresh every second of your day. Every millisecond of your day, Your Guru will be fresh from the day you met him. Look at my Guru. Absolutely fresh from the first day I met him. Alright? He takes me to hell and brings me back. You know how many times I've phoned you. That's all my Guru. That's my Guru that takes me to hell. But I'll never leave his feet. I will never ever leave my Guru's feet. Okay? I expect a boot from my Guru every week. I expect a boot from my Guru every week. If I boot these idiots, you'll see them back in satsang. You'll see them back in satsang. Are there any questions? Any questions from...
Yes, Acharyaji. Avikar says, thank you, beautifully explained. And he has a question about the Bhagavad Gita. Is the Bhagavad Gita a Shruti or a Smriti?
Tell him next week. The Bhagavad Gita is a Kitonu Upanishad. Alright? So it's a Upanishad that was embedded in the Mahabharata. But we'll discuss it further next week. A good questions from a brand new disciple. And look at our great disciples. They know Lord Narayan. Alright? They live in Lord Narayan. They are Vishishadvaita. They don't need any questions. Any other question?
No, Acharyaji.
Okay, was Vishwadar and Lakshmi on...
Vishwadar, yes.
Vishwadar,
And Lakshmi,
okay.
yes.
Okay. Narayan Lakshmi and Narayan Vishwadar. I think they're going to complete our YouTube today and our website in this week. They have been working very, very hard. 24 hours a day, and I'd like to thank them. It's difficult, technology is difficult, alright? They explained to me that just to put one photograph on YouTube, you have to increase or decrease 10 dimensions, I don't know. I was so confused. I just said, you do it. I'll just watch it. Okay, we'll go for Aarti. I'd like that speaker to be pulled right out. There is one also. Okay, Narayan.